All right. God, can I just get a wallpaper of Mirror's Edge without my computer freaking out and Google not participating in anything that has to do with any creative freedoms?
Damn.
Shots fired, I know.
R.I.P.
Yep, I get to look at this blurry picture of Faith the entire stream. Love it.
It's not too bad. Doesn't look terrible on the stream.
Right. Mirror's Edge, man. Mirror's Edge. How many times did we play it?
I played it 3.
Played it 5.
Yep.
Do you have a do you have a review? Or not a review, sorry. Do you have a what's your Metacritic score of it, like out of 100?
I think what was it? Got a 69, but I'd probably give it more in the 70s, mid 70s.
Yeah, more than a 69, didn't it?
No, I think it was only 69. Or was it
I thought it was 81.
So looking at the wrong one?
Yeah, I got an 81.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I got an 8 from the users. So 7 would be on the low side.
Yeah, even still. I don't know, some of the mechanics were a little rough in it.
We'll get to
Especially
that.
yeah.
We will get to that.
That's true.
So I got a little a little slogan for you, all right?
Yeah.
So, you know how like on video game boxes and stuff like that, they'll have like little quotes from developer, like the people who make games.
Mhm.
Here's mine. A game where the running feels great, but the second you fight, your frames drop like crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to fight in that game's pretty bad.
I give it a 7.8.
Yeah.
78 out of 100. Honestly, I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it was awful.
Yeah, definitely wasn't a terrible game.
I mean, for a game that came out in 2008, or well, 2009 for PC, 2008 for console.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't think it's really all that bad. I think it held up really well.
Yeah, definitely for its time period.
It's been
Did pretty well.
12 years.
Yeah. Things have come a long way since then too.
So, what is Mirror's Edge? Can you summarize it?
Um hmm. Probably it's like a basic speed run trainer almost.
Yeah, I would call it a
I
speedrun
would say.
trainer. Yeah.
Yeah. It it kind of highlights where you're supposed to go with red. Everything else is kind of a lighter color, usually white or gray or something like that. So it kind of highlights where you're supposed to go, which is really nice. But it also has a lot of that speed running aspect to it.
And I think they call it runner vision. What's nice about the runner vision is as you progress through the game, they slowly take it away, and it opens you up
Hmm.
to the problem solving aspect. I think I enjoyed the problem solving aspect of Mirror's Edge more than having runner's vision constantly.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot better having the. It kind of like only picks and chooses where you can use the runner vision, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's like
Can't really
the
overuse it.
developers had this like linear path of what they wanted you to take, and you could say no, this is more convenient for me, or my play style is more beneficial towards this way of running.
Yeah, definitely.
Free running video games. Who would have thought? Well, I mean, when was the first Assassin's Creed?
Ooh, I don't know. What one was the first Assassin's Creed anyway?
Well, I think the first one was just called Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I believe so.
The first Assassin's
Had
Creed game. Let's go.
probably later 2000s, like 2008, 2009, similar time frame.
Well, Metacritic does not want to cooperate with me. I cannot get you an answer. Here we go. That's Syndicate was 2015. That was a while ago.
Oh
Black
wow.
Flag was 2013.
What?
Holy crap, that can't be
That
right.
long ago?
It is right. Holy crap. Yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 was 2009, so I'm going to assume 2008.
Yeah, something like that. Brotherhood was freaking 2010. That was the first one that I played.
Oof.
Damn, I feel old.
So considering the time period, these two games coming
Yeah.
out at the same time, Assassin's Creed 2007. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I think they were definitely inspired by the mechanics. I mean, they're both Ubisoft. No,
Yeah.
yeah, they are both Ubisoft. Mirror's Edge Catalyst is EA. But they're both
Yep.
Ubisoft. I feel like they took the engine of Assassin's Creed, kind of put it into a first-person perspective. And if you remember correctly, back when Assassin's Creed came out originally, before the big updates, when you got into combat, you would have lag.
Yeah. Always.
Always. You would have to like
Even
time things perfectly.
even when you're running from building to building, sometimes you would get lag, and
Yeah, like when it has to
it,
load an animation.
it would kind of just stutter as you're climbing or
Mm-hmm.
something. That was always interesting.
Um, Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if we went through and did a comparative on the credits that Assassin's Creed and Mirror's Edge had similar people working on it.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Overall, Mirror's Edge, what it is you play as Faith. You live in what appears to be a Chinese city. I'm not going to say we're in China, but it appears to be this super kind of corporatized um, China, where there is really no strong-headed government. All the police units and everything are being manipulated by different organizations who are working towards some kind of goal. And
Hmm.
throughout the game, we see people with tattoos and stuff, and apparently those tattoos have like microchips in them, and they can be chipped and tracked. And there's like a whole internet network that you can wear as a contact. I don't know if you caught any of this throughout the story.
Not too much. I didn't catch the tattoo part. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like a tracker, and everybody
Gotcha.
has them. Like you're
Yeah.
born with it, and then you get
Hmm.
it. Obviously, you're born, and then you get your ID. So it's
Yes.
super dystopian, but it's made to look like it's not a dystopian. Everything's being renovated and rebuilt. But as you're running through everything, you see rats constantly. Nothing's taken care of. Everything's kind of. You have really, really brand new buildings that are completely empty. There's no people in these buildings. So it gives
Yep.
you a sense of loneliness as you're just running through this hellscape of police chasing you for you don't even know why until the end, and you find out you were framed. It's interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, the storyline is definitely really interesting.
It also sucks.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of. And it's very spaced out where you get your information.
Yeah, and the cutscenes don't do you justice as a player.
Yeah, definitely not.
Was there any moment?
Always.
Was there
Hmm?
any moment in the game when you were just like, I've completely lost track of what's going on?
Yeah. Usually by the time, probably probably by the time I get to not rope burn is when I kind of lose it. After that cutscene, is when I kind of lose track of what's exactly going on until you get to where you fight the assassin,
Oh, Celeste.
and then
You fight
yeah, and
Celeste
then it
as an
kind of just
assassin, yeah.
yeah. I didn't know if I wanted to give
So
that
the
away yet.
oh no, we assume everybody's played the game or knows the story is similar.
Yeah, gotcha.
Um, are you talking about the rope burn throws you off the roof scene, or the rope burn when you're in the vents?
The rope burn where he throws you off the building.
Okay, because
Because
mine is when Roper is talking to Jackknife on the phone in the vents. That is when I don't get it.
yeah, that whole cut scene there where they're talking back and forth is kind of I don't know if it's more the audio because they're trying to make it seem like you're in the vent. It's kind of muffled or
And they don't
what it is.
explicitly tell you who he's talking to. So every time
Yeah.
I've played through this game, mind you, I pre-ordered this game when it came out. I had it on Xbox 360. I have played this game overall probably like 20 times. And it
Oh, gotcha.
wasn't until we were preparing for this stream that I realized he's not talking to Miller. He's talking to Jackknife. This
Mm-hmm.
whole time, I thought Miller was the bad guy. Overall, I think I thought Miller was the bad guy the
Yeah.
entire time.
Yeah, just from that scene.
No, not just from that
But
scene. It's like you meet Miller, he points a gun at you, he has a chance to arrest you, he tries to arrest you, but he doesn't. And then you're
mm-hmm.
wanted. Every police officer shoots at you except for this one. And then all of a sudden he's on your side. Like I
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Now they explain it that way.
and why Faith's sister? Like why Faith? It like there's no
That is, yeah. They never really give you an explanation why Faith
she's
is
not
so.
special.
Yeah, like if is she important? Is she
There were
trying to like raise some rebellion or
so
something?
from what I understand is the runners are just people who don't want to live in the super technocratic society that they find themselves in. And
Yeah.
their outlet is free running. It's more of a symbol of freedom than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to take that symbol away. So I don't understand the whole shoot the kill thing, tear apart their organization. From what it seems is all they do is get paid and they move information around outside of the internet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like their organization shouldn't be under fire. They're just the messengers.
Yeah, literally.
That's
And
like
for some
going
reason they
after
are.
that's like going after the post office because the post office shipped the Italian mobs letters. It doesn't make sense. You
Yeah,
don't go after the messenger
yeah, there's no reason to.
unless you're trying to cut communications. But you want to know what works really well for cutting communications? Taking down the big heads.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
messengers aren't big
exactly.
heads. Somebody else will just relay the information. It'll be done.
Yeah, yeah, they're just
Um,
gonna find somebody else to cover their place.
I mean, we could be looking at the story completely wrong. We didn't read the comics, which brings us
Yeah,
to the
that's the thing.
comics.
Yeah.
So this game has, I think it's It's a 6 article comic series leading up to the game.
hmm
We can't find it, and
Yeah,
nor should we have to. It should be in the game.
yeah, that is true.
Like there
There
should,
should be something,
yeah.
um,
Like if you
some
beat
lore
the game,
section.
you should get the comics, right? They should be in the game so
Yes.
you can understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, there should be something.
All I gotta say. All I gotta say.
They are nowhere to be found.
I mean, I found the Easter eggs. I found some of the Easter eggs, I should say. The
hmm
giant rat one obviously is not important to the story, but there are other ones like Where's December is painted in one of the vents. You find
hmm
other couriers or carriers or runners bags throughout the game. And then if you go back through and you already collected it, you find little notes scribbled on the ground and they hint at other things. Um,
Yes.
all of that context is lost on you unless you read the comics and you understand them.
Yeah, it totally would be. Just
Like all of it
that's
right over my head. I
unfortunate.
didn't get any of it.
Yeah, a lot of the story I'm pretty vague on. There's like little bits and pieces that it throws at you that's easy to understand, and most of it is just all over the place.
I
Can't
think
really follow anything.
I think that's why it got an 81. I think the majority of people finished the game and were like,
Yeah,
"Oh, it's just a revenge story." Jackknife did
Yeah,
this. Faith is doing this to save his sister. That's it. It's
mhm,
revenge and savior.
yeah.
There's
That's what
no,
it makes it out to be.
it's nothing insane.
Yeah.
This isn't Dark Souls where the lore is 42-hour YouTube compilation videos just to understand one character.
Yeah.
Where their
Right.
personalities are so deep and ingrained into the fabric of the game.
Yeah.
Could it have been that? No. Does it deserve
Uh,
books? Eh,
I could see the comics being good with it. You could find them.
they're on eBay. They're online. They're scanned. They're
Yeah.
just tough to track down. And the ones that I found were low quality and they're pain in the ass to read. And I was just like, I'm not going through this. It's not. It wasn't worth it to me. There wasn't enough substance to say you need to finish these comics. The story, it should have been developed in the game. That's
Mhm.
that's it. End of story.
Yeah, definitely.
Mirror's Edge is a good game. The mechanics are good. Now you disagree, right?
Well, most of the mechanics are pretty good. It's just there's a couple spots that are I don't know if it's a glitch or if the hitboxes you kind of have to be perfect on, but she just won't grab the pole in probably two or three different sections unless you get it like perfectly, or she just decides to randomly grab it. I don't know. But as far
Yeah.
as like jumping goes, jumping off the walls, hanging on the ledges, stuff like that, it does run pretty good. Um,
So in other words, it shows its age.
yeah, yeah, definitely. There's a couple little buggy things here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty solid.
The entire time we played, I was going for a no death run. I wanted a no death run.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Let me tell you guys, no death run in Mirror's Edge is not happening. Not for me, anyways. Not for a while.
Yeah,
It's
unless you went really slow and just made sure you went and timed everything perfect.
well, even then, like I've taken my time doing the atrium climb
Mm-hmm.
during the end of the game, making your way up to shoot the get the sniper to shoot the van,
Yeah,
and I would grab onto the ledge. Faith would pull herself up and then just throw herself off the edge. There's
yeah,
nothing. There's nothing as a player I can do in that moment to save anything.
yeah, literally.
I would
At least give us a
argue,
chance.
yeah, I'm sure you'll agree with this. I would argue that the atrium is the worst level
Yes, I would definitely agree. Mostly because of that one part where she just folds herself right over.
constantly.
And yeah, and there's just nothing you can do. You just fall. There's nothing to grab onto. There's nothing to try and like jump off of a wall that's nearby. There's nothing. You just fall.
Do you have a favorite mission?
Um, I don't know. I always liked where you go at the very end, where you go down the elevator shaft. There's just a bunch of enemies. You have to kind of be really
Oh,
careful with where you go. I do enjoy that part.
the hell was the name of that mission?
Um,
That's
I think it was the chapter 8 mission.
Kate.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one.
The
Yeah.
one where you run through the door and then Miller kills the two people and lets you go.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then right after that, you have to
So you
get
run to
out.
the server room and all that.
Yeah. Either that or the mall. I also enjoyed the mall section
Oh,
as
you
well.
like the mall section.
Yeah. I
So the mall
it
section is
was
my second least liked.
yeah, I could see it. I don't know. I somewhat enjoyed the combat just cuz it kind of picked up the pace a little bit. It wasn't just jumping from ledge to ledge. It was kind of you have to find the right path to go, and there's a bunch of people shooting at you. You can either choose to kill them or you can don't.
So you're saying that the combat element gives it more of a it's a video game vibe?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
instead of just kind of like cruising through it and
I agree.
jumping around.
I agree.
Makes things
Mainly because the tutorial really ruins the game. It should be skippable.
yes.
And then you move on to what I consider like let's use a Thanksgiving analogy since we're so close to Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
after Thanksgiving, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Um
it's Christmas time.
it's the potatoes of it. It's the first thing you eat. I eat when I sit
Hmm.
down at Thanksgiving is the potatoes. And it's not because it's the best, it's not because it's filling, it's just because it's the easiest one to eat. It's just potatoes.
Hmm. Don't have to cut up the
Mission
ham or
1,
anything. Or
you see the name of Mission 1 real quick. After the tutorial, you have flight. And that
hmm.
is where you get the short scene about Faith's sister, and then you start running across the rooftops to get to the plaza.
Yes.
All of chapter 1 and chapter 2 are the potatoes of this game, and in my opinion are the best missions. And then
Yeah.
chapters 3 and chapters 6, the one with the mall,
Hmm.
or is 6 with the mall, or 5 with the mall.
Uh, yeah.
So
5 New
skip
Eden.
skip Rope Burn chapter 4 and go to New Eden, and that's the best way to play the game.
Yeah, definitely.
The Rope Burn fight, if you could call it that, is shit.
It's
It's
horrible.
it's
There's nothing
shit.
to it. You have to sit there and wait for him to throw you. Then
Hmm.
Faith
It's
says, "Okay, I'll be okay," and you gotta wait to block him. Then there's a long animation after that. It's like, come on now.
super pace breaking.
It really is. And all the elevators. Don't forget the elevators.
Okay,
They should take a lot. They should be a lot quicker than what they are.
I'm gonna defend the elevators.
Yeah.
So, American Wasteland on the PS2 had load times of nothing, and this was a big deal at the time. However,
Hmm.
that's not true. American Wasteland had load times. You would have to ride from area to area through different means. You'd have to go through,
Hmm.
a
Yep.
little bus way or something. Mirror's Edge did the same exact thing. They deloaded a portion of the map, loaded the new portion of the map, and in order to do that, they added an elevator. That way the game could load everything.
Yeah. That is very true.
It's pace breaking, but it's fine. I get it.
Yeah, that is the load. That's a good point.
It's the load.
Hmm. So it's not terrible.
Now, I had said during one of the live streams I would have liked Mirror's Edge to be open world.
Yeah, that would be fun.
You agree 100% then?
Yeah, especially because it kind of lets you more practice the mechanics too on your own free time. That's partly why I like it so much,
Did
or
you
would like it so much.
did you even learn any of the super advanced tactics throughout your playthrough? Like double Q
Um,
hopping or anything?
yeah, some of it I did. There wasn't too much though.
You didn't go too in depth and figure it all out. Like
No.
double wall runs to Q jumps and
Yeah, well, some of them you there's some spots where you kind of have to use like there's one spot where you have to use the double wall run and things like that. So I do know how to. It's just it's not used much in the game.
and that's
It's
that's where
very basic.
I think the open world aspect would have shined, because you
Yeah.
could have had this mission where it was just doing really slow prompts while you were running. It just gave you a text prompt and it was like, hey, you know, look at anything that turns red and try to interact with it by jumping at it, running on it, blah, blah, blah. And you could have
Mhm.
had this scene where she's running into the city out of a subway or something like that from, say, two cops, and maybe she just jumped the subway station turnstile, right?
Yeah.
She just did all these crazy running techniques and got out. And then you had this open world, and Merc was like, "Hey, get to a rooftop. You have to meet with Celeste," and then you sparred with Celeste.
Mhm.
I feel like that would have just worked better. I feel like the writing direction was poor.
Yeah. It would also be cool if they had like cops on the rooftops and if you ran too close to them, they would get alerted to you. So it would kind of add a little bit of an edgy aspect
Now
to the free run.
here's I think it's called portmanteau, a devil's advocate. Let's just use that word.
Mhm.
Um, do you think if they did that, it would have just been a futuristic Assassin's Creed?
Pretty much, yeah.
People would have just
Yeah,
crucified them
it
for.
yeah, it would have been a little bit too much of a copy. It's a good that's a good point.
I feel like people would have just said, "Oh, have you played Mirror's Edge? I mean, Assassin's Creed with guns."
Yeah.
Like
Pretty true. Yeah,
same
that's a good
developer,
point.
probably similar staff. Like
Yeah, definitely.
so,
It would have been a copy.
I think it's time we talk about the elephant in the room,
Oh boy.
the lag.
Yeah. If you
You
enjoy 30 frames a second, well, I mean 20 or 10,
10,
um
just zero. It's just no frames, then you get them back. It's bad.
yeah, there's a couple spots where it is really bad. It's the
I
one
mean,
thing that was a killer to a lot of the fighting aspects. It was still doable, it was still kind of fun in my opinion, but holy crap was there lag.
and if you're wondering where is the leg, throw a punch. It
Yeah,
lags.
yeah.
All you have to do is left
Slide.
click, slide. The animation, the
Yeah.
sliding is laggy.
The
It's
rolling animation is laggy.
rough. The rolling
Yeah.
wasn't the worst though. Like at least you could still
No.
time your movements out of that.
Yeah,
You got some
definitely.
iframes in it, but like shooting a gun,
Hmm.
nightmare. I would have the
Yeah.
sniper and I would shoot the sniper, and then all of a sudden I would just die because I had no idea what just happened.
Yeah.
It would just be, and then I'd be looking off into some completely different direction. Faith would be dropping the gun for some reason. I didn't even hit the button. At least in my brain, I didn't.
Yeah.
It was
Some days.
rough. I mean,
Pretty
this
rough.
is, in my opinion, the worst part about us playing it on PC. Because from what I understand, this lag doesn't exist on console,
Yeah.
which means this is a port. This was ported to PC.
Definitely.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you're running an older system and you're like, oh, well, this game runs fine on my system because you have an older system.
Hmm.
I think our 2070 or 2060, obviously, our 3060s were just so powerful that the game was just did not know how to utilize
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, exactly. And then when a bunch of stuff started going on with the combat and it it just freaks out.
It gets super slow. It just
Yeah,
everything comes to a screeching halt when
literally.
you throw a punch. Like there were
Yeah.
times where I just wanted to throw one punch and then backstep, and so I would end up punching Celeste or the assassin
Yep.
on the boat 3 times, which ultimately would get me headbutt and hurt.
Hmm.
It's more beneficial for me to SA jump and throw one punch over and over
Hmm.
because then she can't hit me and I only have to hit her 8 times. But because of the lag, that fight goes from should be extremely easy to stupid hard.
Yeah. Well, more like it's still somewhat easy. It's more just annoying because of that lag. It's like I want to do this, but she doesn't do it
I'm
because we're
gonna
lagging like crazy.
I'm gonna ask you this. I think I know the answer. Did you beat it on hard mode?
No, I didn't even want to attempt it because the fighting is so rough.
That should be evidence enough that no, it's not easy. It's not annoying.
Yeah,
It's bad. It's just
yeah,
bad.
it is.
That is my hot take. It's bad.
Yeah, my first run through, I did it on normal. The fighting was horrendous. I did not want to do that again, so I just played it on easy because I wanted to actually somewhat enjoy it.
Not only was our first playthrough on normal, but we should
Hmm.
also discuss physics.
Yes, do not use the physics.
So we didn't know. We had no
Yeah.
idea about the physics glitch and how bad it was. But you want to talk about
Yep.
not being able to make a jump because Faith magically slipped off a curb?
Yep.
Turn on physics and just attempt it. It's rough.
You want to die from every jump because she chooses not to roll, turn on the physics.
Yeah.
You want to not grab the pole, turn on the physics. You want to not grab the ledge, turn on the physics.
There were so many times where I was angled perfectly to wall run, and
Yeah,
Faith just would just slide off the wall because the
yeah,
physics lag. It was just like, oh, you didn't have this input.
yeah. You didn't do that. She just walks off the edge instead of jumping.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Basically, it took us from playing it probably 5 to 6 hours down to like 2 and 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up
Uh,
finishing the game in 2 hours
Literally.
and 3 minutes. And then
Yeah.
you finished it in 2:42, if I'm not mistaken, from your game
Yeah,
timer.
it was just under 3 hours.
Like, how do you go from 6 hours just because you turned on one settings in the graphic settings?
Yeah. Oh man. And just some of the jumps she would not cooperate. It's like I know I may not be timing it absolutely perfect, but I should be timing it close enough that it should work, and it just never
And
did.
90% of the time, I felt like I was close enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And we had members of the chat saying, Ian, you have to press left shift before she hits the ground in order to do a roll.
Hmm.
And I didn't believe them because I was doing that and she
Yeah,
didn't do it.
yeah,
Like I
it was
seriously
crazy.
thought that mechanic was just broken. It just didn't work.
Hmm.
And
Same as
I was
me.
ready. Go ahead.
Yeah, same as me when I was swinging from each pole.
Oh yeah.
You and I like from the get go were having that problem over and over again throughout the whole entire game until we turned off physics. It was crazy.
And later on, after we turned off physics, things obviously got way better. We cut off 3 hours between the both of us, which is incredible. Like that is an
Yeah,
incredible time save.
it's insane.
I decided to sit down and watch speedruns of the game. I don't know if you did.
No,
I never
I never
asked.
got the chance to.
Okay. And I started manipulating some of the or manipulating, um, copying some of the speedrun tactics, attempting
Hmm.
to. And my God, do they make the game so much more bearable? It
Yeah,
should not be the case. It should not be the case.
yeah, definitely.
Mirror's Edge should have been a parkour playground, and it's not.
Yeah,
What we
it doesn't let you free roam at all, even within the mission too much.
Now there is the speedrun option. There is the tutorial area where
Hmm.
you can choose to just run around in a sandbox, but it's not big enough.
No.
It doesn't give you enough to do. It just gives you enough room to practice what you're doing.
Yeah, and it only gives you enough room to practice the basics.
Yes.
It doesn't really give you a spot to double wall run or do the Q jump. I think there's one spot to do the Q jump.
Yeah,
So,
and you have to do
ugh,
the slide down the rope, and then you have to jump and hit
yeah,
Q, do the Q jump so that way she falls on her back.
yeah,
Like there should be more places to do the Q jump. Like it's a really really good tactic if you can get it down
yeah.
right. Like
And it's
jump,
fun to do as well.
wall run, Q to turn Faith around to land on her back, hit
Hmm.
S, then hit Q again and run forward to maintain your momentum. It looks fucking awesome. And when you pull it off,
Yes.
it looks so good.
It's hard, but it's fun.
It's such a worth it maneuver.
Yeah.
But like the fact that you could just wall run on anything and jump and you'll just get this major speed boost and you could just fly through levels.
Hmm.
Like, oh, I'm being chased, but now I'm a demigod and I can just jump off of all of these walls moving at 60 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Once you learn those tactics, yes, we're moving into a speedrun conversation. Um, it makes the game barely worth playing.
Yeah. It
So
is.
I want your opinion. Would you learn the speedrun?
Probably not. There's too many other options that run better. If I'm gonna speed run, I don't wanna screw up because of a glitch. I wanna screw up because I screwed up, you
You
know?
want it to feel fair.
Yeah. I don't wanna jump for a ledge, time it perfectly, and she just doesn't grab it and falls.
I mean,
I don't want that.
that's fair enough, and I agree.
Yeah,
So tons of respect to the Mirror's Edge speedrunning community. You guys are awesome.
yeah. Guys,
I
you guys got some balls.
I understand why you're running it on console.
Yeah,
At the end of the
I
day,
feel like it might be different on a console for
yeah,
us.
definitely. I understand why you're running on console, but man,
Props.
props. Yeah.
Yep.
I
Oh man.
think that's gonna do it. Unless you have anything
Yeah.
else to say.
Um, not too much. I think we covered it fairly well.
Would you recommend this game to somebody who's never played it?
Um, Not necessarily. I feel like I would rather recommend other speedrunning options.
What about just as a
It's
game? Like to somebody who just, I don't know, let's just say
I don't know.
bought a PC, the game's $5. Would you
Yeah,
recommend it to them?
if the game was free or included in a bundle or something,
You
then
would
yeah,
say, yeah.
it's worth playing. It's still fun enough. I would highly recommend turning off the physics.
Yeah, of course.
And
I'm on the other spectrum. I say this is on my list of must plays. I think
yeah.
this is an example of the renaissance of video games moving into next generation. It was different enough. It was taking leaps. See what I did
Mm-hmm.
there? It was
Yeah.
taking leaps into ideas that we hadn't quite seen yet.
Yeah.
I would say this was the Xbox 360's Crash Bandicoot. Like this was a different kind of game that attempted
Mm-hmm.
something that wasn't Call of Duty. It wasn't another, you know, RPG.
Mainstream
Yeah,
or something.
it was one of a kind at the peak of its
Yeah,
release.
I'd agree there.
And to me, this is a piece of gaming history that should be remembered, flaws and
Hmm.
all.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's for sure.
Which brings us to the end of the podcast.
Yes, yes.
And those of you in the stream now, we will be playing Mirror's Edge Catalyst
Yes, we will.
in
See
about
if it's
10
any better.
minutes. Yeah, in about 10 minutes, we're going to be playing Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to thank everybody for listening to the podcast.
Yes, thanks for stopping by.
Check out Needledick, twitch.tv/Needledeek,
Yeah, yeah.
NEETLEDEEK. Give him a follow. Great content creator. He's always out having fun. I'm Zephyrian. You can follow me at twitch.tv/IMZEPHYRIAN. Yeah, that's it. First
That's probably
podcast.
going to do it. Hell
Uh,
yeah.
You
Stay
guys
tuned for
all
more.
stay gaming out there. Don't stop.
Yeah.
It's the best medium of entertainment.
Stay gaming, stay safe. Bye.
Real before we say goodbye, I want to say thank you to Eden
Yes, thank you.
for the outro and intro song that you were about to hear. Amazing musician, creates awesome game music in his spare time. Looking for work, trying to get him on Spotify. Won't listen to us, but maybe one day. Keep your ears
One of
perked.
these days we'll get there.
If you can find him, he's on YouTube. Amazing music, lo-fi, very vaporwave, very hip hop. A lot of really good inspirations, unique instrument choices, good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Boy.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I lost my music. There we go. Where's my Tiltify? Oh, there it is. Oh my god. Thank you so much to I believe that's Red Barrel for the $50 donation today towards
Oh
Able
wow.
Gamers. Big appreciate. Go check out Red Barrel FTW over on YouTube.
Can we get a GG's in the chat?
Awesome. I think that was him. If somebody else donated, let me know. I think it was $50 from him. Might have been English Tater in the chat. You guys are the best. Bye bye. See you guys soon.